Hi guys, we're going to continue with some different types of polygons. These ones are having to do with quadrilaterals. Quadrilaterals can all be put into categories just like our triangles were. So we're going to look at some vocabulary that we're going to need in this geometry unit that relates to all of the shapes that we'll be doing before we get into categorizing our quadrilaterals. So all shapes can be categorized as concave or convex. We'll notice here that each of these shapes have a red line. Now, a concave shape goes into itself. Think of like a heart going into itself, or a cave, you walk into it. So all of these look like a mouth or a cave, the mouth of a cave, and the red line is showing where it goes into itself. So those are concave shapes. Whether they're polygons or not, they are concave. These ones all go outside of themselves. So they do not have an opening for you to go into the mouth of it. So these are convex shapes. Whether they are polygons or not, they are shapes and they are convex. But we're going to go to looking at some shapes that might be convex or concave, but they are quadrilaterals and they are polygons. A quadrilateral is a shape that is a polygon, and it has four sides. Remember, polygons have to have straight lines. They end and begin at one point, and they are closed shapes. These ones have four sides. Triangles had three sides. We'll notice here that only one of them is concave. The other five are convex. They go out. Rectangles are quadrilaterals with four right angles and two sets of parallel sides. Now, a set is two lines. So two lines that are parallel, we'll look at this shape here. The top and the bottom are parallel. That's one set. And the next two lines are the second set. Now we'll look up here. That is a set of parallel lines. Here are two more sets of parallel lines. We'll notice that they keep going and they will never ever cross. Think of the two rails that the train tires ride on. Those are parallel lines. They will never cross each other. Now, a square is a quadrilateral with four right angles. We talked about angles the other day with triangles. Right angles look something like this. And it measures exactly 90 degrees. And I can stick this paper into the corner of each of these shapes, and it fits exactly. So four right angles and two sets of parallel sides and four equal sides. Sounds very similar to a rectangle. Let's look at that. Well, a rectangle is a quadrilateral with four right angles, just like a square, and it has two sets of parallel sides. The difference is a square has four equal sides. We'll notice these rectangles up here in purplish pink. That one does not have equal sides. This one here, not equal sides. So that does not work for us. So all of these squares are rectangles, but these ones are the only ones that are also squares. These two are not squares. So sometimes a rectangle can be a square, but a square can always be a rectangle. Parallelograms are quadrilaterals, so it has four sides with four angles and two sets of parallel sides. So notice they didn't say right angles, just four angles. So this rectangle over here can be a parallelogram. I wonder if our other shapes that we saw can be. Let's check it out. Squares, do they have four angles? Absolutely. Do they have four sides? Yes. Do they have two sets of parallel sides? Absolutely. So all of these squares here qualify as parallelograms. The rectangles here, does it work? Four sides, four angles, two sets of parallel sides. Looks like all rectangles and all squares can be parallelograms, but not all of these parallelograms can be a square or a rectangle. A rhombus is another way we can categorize quadrilaterals. They have 4 angles, 4 equal sides, and 2 sets of parallel sides. Sounds similar to a square, and similar to a rectangle, and similar to a parallelogram, but let's see which ones fit and which ones don't. So it looks here like this one has unequal sides. So that would not be a rhombus. This one here, measure it up. It has equal sides. One underneath does not. This is definitely not equal sides. Definitely not equal sides. These guys we know all have equal sides. They do have 4 angles, and they do have 2 sets of parallel sides. So all squares can be rhombuses. Only some parallelograms can be a rhombus. Can all rhombuses be a square? Because they don't all have right angles. And these rectangles up here, this one does not have equal sides, so it can't be a rhombus. And this one does not have equal sides. It's not a rhombus. Let's look and categorize these guys a little bit more. So we have that first shape on the left bottom. It's a quadrilateral. It is a rhombus. And it is a parallelogram. It is also a polygon. Remember, all of these shapes up on the screen right now are polygons. It's just another way to categorize them. This shape here, it definitely has 4 sides, so it's a quadrilateral. It's definitely a rhombus. All the sides measure the same, and I did measure them. And it is a parallelogram. And this one here looks like a square. It is a quadrilateral. It is a rhombus. It is a parallelogram, and it is a rectangle. Looks like square can be everybody's buddy, doesn't it? Let's find out. All right. Next category of a quadrilateral is a trapezoid. Trapezoids are a quadrilateral with only one set of parallel sides. So 1 set. These guys would cross as we go up here. Eventually they would cross if they kept going. So let's look at the rhombus. 2 sets of parallel sides. Not going to be our buddy. Let's look at the parallelogram. 2 sets of parallel sides. Let's look at the square. 2 sets of parallel sides. I guess the square is not going to be the trapezoid's friend. And the rhombus, or the rectangle, I'm sorry, is also a shape with 2 sets of parallel sides. So trapezoids are quadrilaterals, like these other shapes. However, they stand alone in their next category as just a trapezoid because it only has one set of parallel sides. All right, let's try a little bit of a quiz. I'm going to disappear myself. Here we go. All quadrilaterals are parallelograms. There's a parallelogram. All of them. All quadrilaterals are parallel. Well, those trapezoids were not parallelograms, so that's false. All rectangles are quadrilaterals. There's a rectangle. Yeah, all the rectangles that we saw were quadrilaterals. All squares are rectangles. Yeah, they all have 4 right angles, 4 sides, and 2 sets of parallel sides. So that is true. All rhombuses are squares. Well, remember, the rhombus just needs 4 angles, but a square has to have 4 right angles. So that is definitely going to be false. All trapezoids are quadrilaterals. That is absolutely true. It has 4 sides. All right, let's look at what your job is going to be today. You are going to go to your Google Drive. When you have finished it, you're going to reshare it with me. Even though my name says it's already shared with me, you're going to go type my name in there again and say share, and it will shoot me an email saying, I'm done. And that will let me know you are finished. So in your Google Drive, you will find an assignment called Quadrilateral Homework. You can always revisit this video multiple times while you're doing that homework and decide if you're right or not. I'm hoping this makes it clear. Have a great day. I'll talk to you later.